Waite's mansion, and we're listening right now, and you can probably hear them in the background. We're listening to the ladies of the Harmony Shores. This is what they're called, the Harmony Shores Chorus.
Yes, they're singing a cappella. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
very pretty. And if you listen to the music matches the theme of what we're doing today.
Yes, and the horse and buggy just trotted off
Yeah,
with the ride of
just passed by
passengers.
us, in fact, and then behind us here. So, anyway, we want to thank you all for joining us today. We're here in Bonifay, Florida, which is the county seat of Holmes County. And if you're wondering where Holmes County is, if you're watching us from somewhere else, Holmes County is located about halfway between Tallahassee and Pensacola in the Florida Panhandle, or Northwest Florida, as Chamber of Commerce folks like for us to call it.
And this is right off Highway 90.
Yeah, we are right off of historic Highway 90. It is a beautiful place, and this town has a lot of history. This town dates back to the coming of the what later became the L&N Railroad. It was originally the P&A Railroad. Today it's the CSX, but it came to this area in the late 1800s. And so the city of Bonifay, as we know it today, began to develop. And when Bonifay began to develop, it created a kind of a farm to market, but also a place where farmers and business people and industries could load their products on the railroad for shipment out to all points all over the world. So we've got a beautiful day going here.
Yes, we sure do. So the railroad was important here?
Yeah, the railroad.
And I hear it might be coming back.
Well, there's a good possibility that Amtrak service will be coming back to the area. Of course, we were live in Shipley not too long back for that. But let me tell you a little about what we got going today, because this is a great day. We're here at the historic Waite's Mansion, and if you're not familiar with this beautiful place, let me see if I can bring up one of our cameras and show it to you. Here, let's see.
It's gorgeous, and they're restoring it right now.
Yeah, they are. Let's see. You got to bear with me because the sun is in my eyes a little bit today, but, well, that camera is not coming up, so let's replace. We'll take it back down. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to turn this around and show people the front of this gorgeous house. And look at this, folks. It is just a gorgeous, gorgeous home.
Absolutely.
So we're going to turn this back around now to
what
us.
A beautiful place to have a garden party.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful place for a garden party. And that's what they're doing today. They're calling this, let's see, a quilt and art garden tea party.
That's right.
And they actually do have tea. They have punch, and they have other things.
Some goodies.
They have goodies. They have cookies and cupcakes and a variety of other things like that. And you've been out roaming around. Tell us a little bit about what you've seen.
I've seen just the cutest little decorations and several vendors that have quilts and all kinds of art. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And it's all spread out here in Holmes County, kind of off the road, and something you wouldn't expect to see in Holmes County. But everybody's dressed up. There's little girls in parasols and sun hats, and everybody's having a good time. And the music is so beautiful right now.
It is, yeah. They're singing,
It kind of takes you back in time.
It really does, and that's kind of the point of what we're doing here. This home, they believe, was built or completed somewhere right around 1919 or 1920.
Right.
It's a beautiful Italianate mansion.
It's Italian?
Yeah, it's Italianate is the architectural design.
Okay.
And it is it's currently undergoing restoration. The exterior restoration of the home is done, and so they're kind of showing that off today. The interior restoration is underway, so they won't be able to show off the interior quite yet. But they've repainted the iron fence around the yard. Everything is just really beautiful here. The plan for this home, where we're at, is for it to become a venue for weddings and other events like that, special events.
Wouldn't that be perfect?
Yeah, and it is just perfect for that. And it is just a gorgeous, gorgeous place.
It sure is. And people are still pouring in, and there's still time if you want to come out and see everything.
Yeah, and this event is going to go on until around 4 or 5 this afternoon.
And this is a fundraiser, correct?
Yeah, it is a fundraiser. Let me tell you a little bit about what they've got going here today. As we said, the Harmony Shores Chorus is singing right now. They're from
so beautiful.
They're from Panama City, and they sing completely a cappella. They are a chapter of Sweet Adelines International. As you can see, I'm referring to my notes, so I'm getting this right, which I don't always do, but they're directed by Barbara Heckerson, and their mission is to enrich women's lives through excellence in a cappella singing. And they're doing that now. They're definitely enriching our lives here because they have beautiful harmonies. They are just it is just quite remarkable to sit here and listen to them. And so it's setting the mood, it's setting the feel of the day. Uh, it is this is just like stepping back in time. It's like we've stepped back almost 100 years to around 1920. These were the glory days before the Great Depression came, and when everyone was feeling good, and the future of America, World War I had just ended, and people were optimistic and enthusiastic, and it was a great time in American history, and in a lot of ways, it was a time that we feel nostalgic for today. Um, Now, let me tell you a little bit about some of the other events we're going to be having here today. They're going to, at 2 p.m., give away a cupcake that was given by Sweet and Sassy Cupcakes. I saw it a minute ago. It looks great. It's a cupcake boutique. I think that should be bouquet, maybe?
Boutique.
Boutique, you think?
Mhm.
I know that's what it says, but do you think it should be a. I don't know. Anyway, something cupcake will be given away at 2 p.m. They're also going to have story time provided by the Holmes County Public Library. And then Mrs. Hazel Tyson, who is a local historian par excellence, is going to talk about the history of the Waits Mansion here. And it is definitely a landmark of this entire part of the
I'm sure
Florida
that will be
Panhandle.
very interesting. She's a sweet lady.
She is. At 2:30, we're going to have another gift giveaway. This will include two giveaways. Will include a gift item from Ollie Mae's Boutique, and it will include a teacup given by Mrs. Betty Treadwell.
Thus, it being a tea party, that's appropriate.
Yeah. And when we say tea party, for those of you, everybody's thinking politics right now because of the presidential. It's not that tea party. It's a different tea. Nothing wrong with that tea party, but it's not that tea party. This is just like an old-fashioned on the lawn, get dressed up.
Yes.
I even dressed up a little. Look at this, and Rachel's dressed up a little. And there are people here wearing authentic outfits from the past, and so
carrying their parasols,
and all that. Yeah, exactly. And so it's really neat. And I'm gonna turn the camera around a little bit in a minute, let everyone take a look. And then at 2:45, if you have like a historic looking dress or attire, or if you've got a suit or whatever that you want to wear and come down, that's when you need to gather by the front gate here for the best dressed contest. And we're going to have that, and then that will be at 3 o'clock, and it will include a gift basket given away by Tyson's Blueberry Farm here in Holmes County.
Very good.
Yeah. Then we have, of course, the best dressed contest and all of that. And then at 3:30, we're going to have another gift item from Ollie Mae's Boutique, and another cup donated by Mrs. Betty Treadwell.
Very good.
At 3:30, it will be library story time provided by the Holmes County Holmes County Public Library. And then at 4 o'clock, we will have a cupcake boutique. I think that's bouquet. I think it's bouquet.
The bouquet from the boutique.
Yeah, bouquet from Sweet and Sassy Cupcakes. And then at 4 p.m. we'll have another house history lesson. At 4:30, another giveaway, more stories. And then at 5 o'clock, a giveaway of 2 flower arrangements given by Bonifay Florist. So we're really happy with all of the folks who have come here to donate. And if you just hold on a second, we're gonna aim our camera around and let you kind of take in the surroundings a little bit, and then we'll go from there. So hold on just a second, and I'm gonna pick this up, and let's turn her all around. Let's see what we can see here. There you see is the beautiful house up above us, and this, as I mentioned, this house was built in around 1919 to 1920. We have some beautiful young ladies there who are coming over toward the carriage rides and to see other events. Hello there. And they do have carriage rides. The carriage rides today are $2 per person, and it is a beautiful carriage. So if you've got a daughter or a sweetheart, and you want to come out and go for a carriage ride, today is the day. So here you can see the ladies singing in the background. Check that out. And just look at this glorious blue sky, at all of the events that are going on here. There you can see everyone is dressed up. It is just a really classy and really nice event going on here. There goes the carriage. Let's turn back here so we can see the carriage. And there they go as they're heading out down the road on a carriage ride. Just a beautiful day for it here in Bonifay, Florida. Just a gorgeous day. There goes the carriage. And again, the carriage rides are only $2 per person. And it is just a great fun thing here going on. This is brought to you by the Holmes County Historical Society with help from some other groups, including the Holmes County Public Library and some others. And we're going to let Miss Rachel disappear for a few minutes and take our video camera and go get some nice video of things going on, if you wouldn't mind, Miss Rachel. And then we will, she's going to do that. I'll continue to amuse you and talk a little bit more about the history of the community and everything. And it's just a glorious, beautiful day. And there goes, I believe, Miss Bonifay and Junior Miss Bonifay passing by here. And we really are amazed and impressed by this high quality event that is taking place here in Holmes County as Holmes County becomes part of the historic Highway 90 corridor. Now, if you're not familiar with the historic Highway 90 corridor, let me tell you a little bit about it. This was a project that began actually 2 years ago, and it started when Jackson and Washington counties decided that they needed to try to do something for the future of the community and to show off some of the beautiful assets of the area. And so what they came up with was an idea to develop historic Highway 90, US Highway 90, as a tourism route that would pass through the area. And so they began working on a master plan for their tourism route. Well, then this year they were joined by three other counties. They were joined by Holmes County, by Washington County, and by or by Walton County and by Gadsden County. And you'll have to excuse me here. I'm trying to keep up with the time and do some other things as we're doing this. So it's now about 1:45 in the afternoon Central Time here in Holmes County. The uh, the anyway, so Holmes County, Walton, and so now from roughly the outskirts of Tallahassee all the way to Defuniak Springs, there is a developing tourism route. And this tourism route will take people through Holmes County, Washington County, Jackson County, Walton County, and Gadsden County, but it gets them off of Interstate 10. The goal is to move a portion of just the tourism traffic off of Interstate 10 to have them come here and explore these smaller but very historic communities along this route. You've got communities like Quincy, Chattahoochee, Marianna, Cottondale. You have, Chipley. Then you come on into Bonifay and you see Westville and Ponce de Leon Springs. And we're being joined here now by Miss Hazel Tyson. And Mrs. Tyson, we are very glad to have you join us. And let me turn this around here so we can get both of us in the picture and show off your lovely hat, by the way.
Thank you. Where do I talk?
Just talk to me and we're good. Just talk to
okay.
me and we're good to go. So one thing I've been talking to people about is the history of this home. And why don't you tell us a little more about that, since you're the resident historian here in Holmes County?
Okay. I think that's a misnomer, but I'll be happy to tell you what I can. Uh, well, we all know that this area had a lot of virgin timber. That is really what caused the development of Holmes County and Washington County and along here. And Mr. Waits came to Holmes County by way of Caryville, which had a big mill over there that was harvesting the virgin timber. And he was a young man who had developed in the timber industry in Georgia. And he came to home he joined the Henderson Company, and they formed Henderson Waits Lumber Company and bought a mill in Caryville that was already in operation. And because of all the not yellow fever, malaria, the mosquito population along the river where Caryville is located, He didn't want to build there. His wife was sickly, they say, and he built here. He built this home in Bonifay, and he bought the property in 1919 and built the house from using the lumber from the mill, the pine and the oak and the cypress, and completed it. I'm not sure when, but Mrs. Waits never did live in the house. It was she died in. I have my notes, but she died in 19. I think she died in 1920,
Right.
before the house was completed, and then uh, the timber became depleted later in
Right.
the 20s, and they sold to Brown Florida Company, and he moved to Baghdad to a bigger mill. Mr. Waits did, and the Henderson Waits Lumber Company. And after that, they failed. Brown Florida got into financial trouble and let the mill. They returned the mill to the Henderson Waits Company. So a nephew, let's see, no, a grandson. I think it's a grandson of George Courtney Waits. James Waits, bought the property from the Henderson Waits Company, bought this house, and moved back here to dispose of the property of the mill, to close out the Henderson Waits Lumber Company. And he and his wife moved here, Maud, and they lived here for several years until their death. And so they were very active in the community. He was a farmer. He started a business with Mr. McGee, an oil distribution business, and they were active in First Baptist Church, and it was a social center for the town at that time.
Sure.
They had a lot of parties and were just really active in the community. In fact, until recently, there was a Sunday school class named for Mrs. Waits, and um, I guess it's very well known that
Right.
in 1948 he committed suicide.
Right.
And that before then they had converted this house into apartments, and a lot of different people lived here. And then after they in 1931, I think it is, they had no children, Maud and Jim, but her sister-in-law died and left a 2-year-old child. And so they took Sonny in. Sonny, his name was Edward Shiver, and everybody called him Sonny Waits. He grew up here in this house in Bonifay as Sonny Waits and finished most of his school years here. However, he did graduate from a military academy and then went on to FSU and to Tulane. Well, he went in the military, served in Korea, and he had his degree from FSU at that time. So he's, got a commission and
Sure.
served in the military, had an illustrious military career. And then he went on to Tulane University and got his medical degree. And after that, he realized that his specialty would not be anything he could practice in Bonifay.
Sure.
So
Need the larger.
he had to dispose of the house.
Right.
And several families were living here. And Robert Hall, who was the school principal, bought the house. He was living here, he and his family, and they bought the house and lived here, raised mostly till their children were almost grown, Dina and Robert Jr. And so this was their home, and they eventually they kind of grew into it and
Right.
stopped renting apartments, but they just could not keep it up, so
Right.
they had to dispose of it. I talked to Dina. She wasn't able to come today, but she said she has real emotional ties to this house and this place, and she wasn't sure she could even talk about it.
Right.
But she had another commitment. Is really why she's not here.
Right. This it has to mean a lot to you and to the other members of the Holmes County Historical Society to see this restoration underway, see this house coming back.
Absolutely. I have just written a number of articles
Right.
lamenting the fact that it was going downhill, and I am so thankful to Don Smith, who has rescued it and is restoring it to its original grandeur.
Right.
It's the grandest house by far in Bonifay.
Yeah.
And it also represents a lot of our history because of, I didn't even mention the railroad, which
Right.
of course was the reason that we could market all the timber that was
Right.
here. So
Right,
it's
and I
all,
was explaining earlier that's how Bonifay came about was
Mhm.
because of the railroad. There goes the
Mhm.
carriage again. And by the way, if you're in the area and you never had a carriage ride, they're only $2 per person today to come out and ride the carriage. And let me tell you, the children and ranging in age from about 2 to 90 are having a great time on the carriage today.
Absolutely, I'm so proud to see
Yeah,
it.
this is we've been commenting on what a remarkable event that the Historical Society has put together here today. It's absolutely beautiful. People are dressed up and it really is a success. And it
It
is.
is. I'm amazed. I am amazed. I'm overcome.
Yeah, it is. It is just beautiful. It's a perfect spring event, and people are out and they're dressed in their finest. Some even came dressed in styles from the different eras of the
Mhm.
history of the house. And you have a wide variety of vendors here with everything from paintings and art to other things. Um, this has to make you feel good about the future of preservation efforts in Holmes County.
It does. It really does. I think people are hungry for that.
Good, good.
I
Well,
have,
no,
um,
go ahead, go ahead.
well, this young lady right here, she and her husband have just restored an old home,
Okay,
and she has invited us to do another, help them with an open house event
excellent,
to
excellent.
as a home fundraiser for the society.
That is wonderful. And yeah, and one thing a lot of people may not know about Bonifay is that the architecture, really from the Victorian era up through the mid 20th century, it has some spectacular architecture like the Waits Mansion, like some of the others, and even the real Atticus Finch lived here for a while back in the day, Harper Lee's father.
Yes, that is true.
you know,
It's,
and Holmes County has more of a connection to the arts than people realize because Laura Ingalls Wilder of Little House on the Prairie and Little House in the Big Woods and Little House in the Everything Else fame lived in Holmes County.
Mhm.
And it's a wonderful community. It's a friendly community. It's a great place to visit. And as this event today shows, good things are beginning to happen here, and it's a really good feeling to see this come together.
Absolutely. We are thrilled. We are
Okay.
just
Okay.
overjoyed to see
Good.
this group.
Good.
And
Well,
thank you so
thank you
much
so
for being
much. We're
here.
happy to be here, and we'll be here off and on throughout the afternoon. So be sure to stay with us. And
I'm
we're
going to
having a
be,
great time here on Two Egg TV. So we hope that you'll stay with us and enjoy some of what we've got going on here today. I'm going to have to lean forward here because the sun has gotten so bright I can't see my controls here, but we will find a way to say goodbye for now, and then we will be back a little later in the afternoon. So thank you very
How you doing?
much. I'm doing okay. How about you?
I have your hat if you want it.
No, I'm okay. I can't find the.
You aren't in the shade anymore.
Let's see here. Boy,